Good evening and welcome to the Senior Synth stream. It's Easter now, so it's time for the Easter eggs. So we're talking about Easter eggs and mostly about those in synth, so I can relax and just eat these. Welcome to Andy.
Hey everybody, how you doing?
Fine. And you?
What are you eating there, by the way? What's going on?
It's an Easter egg.
Oh, it is. Oh, the chocolate
Yeah.
peanut butter Easter egg. Is that it?
No, marzipan.
Oh, marzipan. Nice.
Yeah,
Very nice.
that's very common here in Denmark.
Very
At
cool.
Easter time and other times,
Yeah.
they just call them something else then.
Marzipan hasn't really taken off here. It's around, but it's you only see it in certain places.
And we also have Floyd here. I'm sorry about I'm eating at the same time.
Got some sound effects.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi, Floyd. Also
Oh, that's
called
marzipan.
Alex.
I like marzipan.
Me too. I'm afraid. Not too good to be a fan of. And we also have Dan around.
Hello.
Oh.
I like marzipan.
Would you like one?
Thank you very much. What was I having? Some is it wolf? Is it like Amadeus candies? These things that were named after.
Oh,
Anyway.
Nipples of Venus. That one. Oh, yeah, in the movie. I'm talking about the movie. In the movie, he offers some Nipples of Venus. So, yeah. Oh, Mozart Kugeln.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Those are good.
Oh, yeah, we have them too. Kugler in Danish, that's a Danish word for balls. So, yeah.
Sure.
Not those balls, but
Yeah.
but yeah. Or sometimes they are the same. But that's not the topic of today's show.
That would be an Easter egg.
Yeah. Easter balls. Okay, we also have Tim here. And Tim has a little trouble with his vent. It's better now.
Yeah, I think it's settled down now. As the fan in the laptop had gone a bit mad, so it was sounding
Yeah.
very noisy.
Yeah,
But I must apologise. We actually have a bit of a storm raging outside, and I don't know whether it's anything to do with that, but the internet is being a bit flaky. So
Yeah, that storm is
yeah. So
arriving.
if I
tomorrow.
if I disappear or my voice goes Dalek-y, that's why. So
Yeah, so it's either the internet or the mountain that just blew away. Okay. We are talking Easter egg. Oh, I have to say hello to the chatters too. I see I Sing the Body Electric and Andy, of course, and Floyd Steinberg is there, and here, and then we have David and Matt Brown and Uncle Chrome and JJ. So far that's the chatters in the chat, and let's start. Dan, do you know of any Easter eggs in synthesizers?
See, the thing is that my group actually hasn't done many Easter eggs. We're generally kind of just working to get everything in there and have it all sounding great and working fantastic. So we haven't actually done much of that. I did in my original manuals. I think this was probably the Wave State SR. Maybe a lot of the example screens had song names from my brother's band in them. That's kind of the most fun thing that I did.
Yeah, but you also said you mostly don't put Easter eggs in.
You can't tell. You have to find them. That's the whole point.
I think it's a fun idea. We just it's a small group, and we're generally kind of working to get everything in there. I believe there's a snake game isn't there a snake game in the mini log? I would have to check that. Maybe I'll check that while we're in the chat, and I'll get
That would be
back to
cool.
you.
I'd like to see that.
There are some in some Roland Gear old drum machines. There are a lot of test modes. For example, the TR-505, you can hold down a button while you power it on, and then everything is pitched down an octave.
I would imagine that there are many test modes. Certainly, all of our hardware always has test modes. Some of which are accessible after the factory, and some of which are not. What was I? Oh man, sorry. Oh. Okay, my favorite Easter egg in a synth. I don't know if it's an Easter egg because it's very obvious, but it's really funny. So Oberheim had a sample player. I can't remember the name of it. Someone there might remember, but it was a sample player that would play Emulator 2 discs and Mirage discs and Akai S900 discs.
A local store had one, actually. They're very rare, but I just saw one a few months ago.
Oh, cool. Yeah. And so it's this rack mount. It has almost no UI. And because, some of those instruments didn't have all that much of a UI either. And its claim to fame was that it would just play these 3 different sets of libraries, which is a pretty awesome thing at the time. It was just maybe the first kind of inter-company compatibility thing that anyone had ever done. And of course now we have things like Translator, for instance, that'll take stuff from here and, all the gazintas and gazoutas. But this thing, if you loaded a Mirage disc, the front panel did something special because the Mirage didn't have quite a high enough update rate for its LED displays. It had these, I think that was just a multi-segment LED, and so it would flicker. And when you loaded a Mirage disc on this Oberheim sampler, the front panel would flicker like a Mirage did.
Oh, that's funny.
I always thought that was kind of cute.
Yeah. I also wonder if in the Artemis rocket if they have some Easter eggs there. It could be fun.
Maybe.
Perhaps.
I think everyone has to know about it, though, because, everything's gram by gram in there.
Yeah. Perhaps the things with the toilet was an Easter egg.
Or the two outlooks, right?
Yeah. Okay, Andy, do you know about any synthesizer Easter eggs?
So the only ones I can think of in the last day or so, and probably more if I had time to turn more stuff on and look around, but Emacs 1 and 2 had a thing called Bird Run. It was a menu item. You had to go digging way down in one of those submenus, and it just said Bird Run. I go, what the hell is Bird Run? And if you guys don't know, Emu Systems is the company name. Mm-hmm. Emu is like an ostrich-like bird. It's a rat-type, flightless bird.
They had this
and
on the
so
Emacs.
when you heard Bird Run, this little thing go across the screen. It'd like 1 or 2 passes, and then like it was it, and it would reset. So it's supposed to be like a little emu running across the screen. It's very silly. So that's on Emacs 1 and 2. OP1 had a choplifter game in it, which is very hard to play with the knobs. You pretty much had to use the knobs and the push encoder function of the knobs to do stuff with the choplifter, or one of the buttons or something, I forgot. And it had too much lag, so there's like an inertial thing with it. So as you're trying to turn like this, the helicopter, and then kind of turn like this, you would overcorrect and crash into stuff, because you have to, if you know choplifter, you have to fly around, and this one you have to go down into some areas and stuff. It's like a it's a mildly tweaked version of choplifter. So that was kind of fun. OPZ doesn't have anything because there's no screen, although the app might have one on the phone. I don't know. The other kind of famous one, it's not a visual Easter egg, but if you have a Reface CP and you go into the debug mode, you get a full-fledged grand piano sound, which is supposed to be very, very good. But you had to go dig for it. It's not going to be there normally. So.
Oh, I know that one.
Yeah.
In order to access that, you have to there's the selector knob on the reface CP, and you have to get it stuck between two positions so it
that
doesn't
would-
make
okay.
the contact. And when it turned on, then you get the acoustic piano.
It sounds great. I've heard demos of it. I don't have one. I still want to get one, but I can never find one on sale. They're always the one that's not on sale.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I think people who own one won't sell it.
Yeah. Very good. Yeah, so those are the three I can think of off the top of my head. I'm sure there are plenty more. So plenty of Macintosh ones. If we get later on, if we run out of stuff, I have plenty of Macintosh OS ones from the old days when I used to work at Apple. There's a lot of fun stuff I discovered poking around. So
Yeah, we will probably get to that. So, Floyd?
Yeah, I think there was there a Pong game on my Waldorf Blofeld? I think there was one. I know of multiple synths that have either the Snake game or the Pong game. And sometimes you can access those games by going to test mode or pressing certain buttons while booting. I think the Blofeld, there was a secret command that you could send to the synthesizer, and then it would go into the. Yeah, I think it was one of those simple games, Pong.
I have the mini log one running if you want to see it.
oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So you have to, it goes away after a little bit. You have to power it on. Get this.
Oh, nice. I might have actually done that one before. Now that you show it, I know I've seen Breakout somewhere else before. I think the Kurzweil 2000 might have had a Pong game in it somewhere. I forgot.
And then
That's so
it just reverts to its normal screen with the awesome oscilloscope in there.
Yeah, that's great.
All right, that's it.
But then, please, I made a mistake, so I removed your image or camera and added it again. So please explain what you did.
Oh, okay. So I'll turn it off here. So turn it on. Button in the back, and then while it's coming up, you just twist a knob, any knob, and then all of the knobs control this little game. I'm doing
That's
this
fun.
upside down here, so it's hard to play. And then it lets you play for a little bit, and then you're done.
Nice.
So that's all.
So when you guys have some that either make it or don't make it, is that part of the meetings? Like they have to get approval, or people just go, yeah, that's fine, do whatever you want?
I don't know. I would imagine it varies.
Yeah.
I would imagine this stuff is all intentional. All of the mini logs have Easter egg games in them,
Yeah.
different ones.
Okay.
So, and that's a team that likes having fun.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
think those are great.
Cool.
Nice. Floyd, you talked about some Waldorf thing, the Blofeld, for example. I remember, and I have mentioned it before, there was another thing where it popped up with an image saying this unit was stolen. And I don't know how it did it. I don't know if there's any clock in it. Some people say it's about 1st of April. I'm not sure about that. But it popped up and said that in one version of the firmware. And it was just a joke, but people got scared and there was a lot of people that contacted support, and they had to remove that little joke again. So
I'm having too much fun with that one.
yeah.
So-
If you search Google, you can find an image of it.
Hmm.
So
That's the Blofeld you
Um,
said, right?
what?
The Blofeld, is that what you said?
Yeah, the Blofeld.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Let's check.
Yeah. Tim, do you know of any Easter eggs?
Yeah, the one I learnt of just a couple of days ago, which I'd never heard of, but I'm surprised they haven't advertised this because it's the Roland System 8. And of course, the biggest complaint people have about it is the hideous green colour of all the controls. But there is actually a key combination that allows you to cycle through all the different colours of the spectrum. And if you then let go of the keys, it will then stop at that colour and remember that colour when you turn it off and on again. And I'm surprised they haven't sort of advertised that because so many people complain about it. But my favourite Easter egg, I think, which I've never had the chance to try it, but it is brilliant, is the Dave Smith OB6. And the effects section is digital. But if you go to the spring reverb, you can hit the casing and make a twang on it, even though it's digital effect.
Yeah.
It's like, some engineers have too much spare time on their hands,
That's funny.
obviously. I love that, but yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah.
It's funny the System 8 lets you do that because then it looks more like a JDXA if you make it red. So that's interesting.
Yeah, well, I watched the person cycle through the colours, and when it got to blue, I thought, well, that's far nicer. That's far more appealing. But it's not a massive range of colours it can do, but but all the LEDs are RGB LEDs, so it can do. So it doesn't need to be limited because when it goes into its demo mode, it cycles through loads of different colours and gets a bit psychedelic. So so therefore you can tell it is actually a they're not just green LEDs, but for some odd reason they stuck with green.
Okay.
Cool.
Is that all we know about synthesizers? Easter eggs and synthesizers?
I'm looking for something here.
Hmm. I'll check the chat here to see if anyone. You said something, Tim?
Yeah, I was trying to remember when you came up with the topic. I was sure that there was a synth that would actually bring up the sort of credits for the people that made the original samples, and I thought it was the Roland D50, but I can't find any reference to that. So if someone else knows what synth it was.
Yeah, it's true. I think Eric from
Yeah,
Spectrosonics have revealed that before.
yeah.
Yeah.
I tried to look it up. I couldn't find it, but
So we just put that on our about pages.
oh yeah, yes. Someone's put you can play Doom on the 1010 black box. You can play Doom on almost anything. Someone even played Doom on a washer dryer.
Yeah. So I did a quick search. They did confirm Kurzweil 2000 does have a Pong game. I know I've seen it before, but I don't remember how I did it.
Yeah, I think it's a few Pongs.
They also mentioned some other stuff as Easter eggs. It's more just fun features. Like there's this Korg Monopoly plays a hybrid drum pattern when the pattern slider is between two different beats. Guess it's
Korg
a feature.
Monopoly?
Yeah, that's what it says here.
Mm.
Oh, on the arpeggiator prod?
It just says drum pattern here, but it's just a stupid internet thing. So
The Monopoly doesn't have drums, so that would be a trick.
it would be. That's why I can't trust the internet.
Yeah.
I'm reading here about the Blofeld, and there's a hidden animation in some firmwares. A common Easter egg in older Blofeld OS versions allowed users to see an animation of a horse trap, sometimes referenced in sound demos. There's hidden waves. It is possible to access 19 hidden waves in the wavetable 2 section. And Easter soundset users have referred to free Easter soundsets, which is known for being quite loud compared to the standard factory presets. And there's a mod matrix exploitation. The deep modulation matrix allows for complex routing that can feel like finding secret sounds. And sample support. If you have the license included in the keyboard version, yeah, we know that, you can import custom samples allowing the synth to act as a sound engine for anything. Yeah. Well, that's what I could find out about the Blofeld, but I didn't find the April Fool thing I was talking about. I've seen it in a video on YouTube.
So I just found another reference to that position switch when and it's talking about the Casio MT46. So it's the same exact statement for a Casio MT46.
I would believe that more.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I just it took me a little while to find this because I was thinking it was going to get guitar amp, but we didn't have guitar amps back in the Wave Station days. So there was an effect called the distortion filter EQ, and for Spinal Tap fans, the edge goes up to 111.
Oh, nice.
1 to 111. No explanation for why.
Someone else says the Korg monopoly here does have another MG waveform if the dial is between two waveforms. You know about that one?
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
I wonder which waveforms that would be.
The Yamaha PS80 has an Easter egg where you can, when you make the tone buttons, play various sounds, and one of those sounds is played on there is not attainable any other way. In that little mode, you can trigger with the buttons, which is kind of weird too.
I have a confession. Because someone was asking in the chat what is the key combination for this System 8, and I've just gone and looked it back up again, and it was actually an April Fool's. Someone
Contact AI.
The things
I remember
you do.
the Vegas
things
mode
you
of
do with
System 8 was
video
always
effects.
green. I don't remember it being
Yeah.
multicolored. I remember being green in
Yeah.
Vegas mode.
Yeah.
A lot of Easter eggs will show you the developer's credits of a synthesizer. So
Yeah.
mostly it's holding a certain key combo while turning on the machine. And I've seen this on my Yamaha EX5. I don't quite remember the key combo, but I could look it up. So you get a list of the developer names scrolling through the display.
So Henrik, let me show this here. I'm going to share this. This is the looks like Matrix Synth had the screen of the Blofeld thing you were talking about. Crazy, huh?
Yeah, that's one.
I think Waldorf's support team will have loved this.
Yeah, also the email address, if you check it.
Oh, the producer effect.
People should recognize it as an April Fool by that. It was April 1st, written from behind.
Someone has reminded me of one that I actually did do. So I'm going to look that up and show it to you guys. It's going to take me a while. Don't hang on me.
I think I found some more here. Let's see. Here's a guy claiming he's putting Easter eggs on intentionally in his Max for Live programs. That's kind of funny. He's actually telling you ahead of time.
Yeah, but I have Easter eggs on MS5 here.
So I can't
They
show
can be
you
everywhere.
I can't show you a screenshot of this, unfortunately. But
Oh, it's internal stuff.
No. I just don't. I don't have Oasis PCI running anywhere here. But we did an effect for Oasis PCI, which is in the manuals, page 520 of the patch guide. There were lots of patches, and I wrote a couple pages about it. The producer's a revolutionary new effect that makes non-musicians and musicians happy at the same time. It's designed to give A&R reps, managers, lawyers, and meddling parents the artistic control they've always coveted, while leaving musicians free to create. With this effect, others can modify your sound, fix your vocals, smooth your jazz, adjust your demographic appeal, and generally mess with your artistic vision to degrees not previously possible. Or so they think. In actual fact, the producer's merely a disguised straight-through effect. In other words, it does nothing. Simply hand over the controls of the producer to the helpful outsider, and he or she can carefully and merrily adjust the knobs and settings, all the while thinking they're exerting an exacting effect on your music. As proof, they need merely observe the VU meters dancing in the control panel. Meanwhile, you can concentrate on making your music your way. It's a win-win situation. Or maybe this effect really does change the audio. You be the judge and listen carefully. And then there are things like a genre mixer where you have knobs for R&B, country, rock, hip-hop, and rap. The lyric transmogrifier, including a Barney filter, an incomprehensible gibberish filter. You can adjust target demographic with future adult, which increases or decreases the demographic appeal of a signal to listeners under the age of 18. Contemporary adult or former adult increases or decreases a signal's demographic appeal to listeners who are dead. And then the most important is the desuck knob. Although there are limits to its powers, the manual notes, in general, this knob can be used to improve a signal that sucks.
That's great.
There we go.
Yeah, 'cause this would all have been far more effective, of course, if people actually did read manuals.
That's right.
That's true.
Speaking of manuals, it wasn't Easter eggs, but if the EMU and the Ensoniq manuals were generally very funny. They had to look for certain things, but their writing was very good. So.
Oh, and Mackie was amazing there, actually.
Yeah, speaking of Ensoniq, the Ensoniq, some of the early Ensoniqs had hidden waveforms that you could only access by changing the firmware or something. I think.
I want to, by the way, acknowledge Probes in the comments, who is the one who reminded me of that. So
yes.
Thank you very much.
Oh, nice. EPS 16 Plus had some tricks like that. I think ESQ80 I think had some hidden waves.
Yeah.
And they've exploited that in the Arturia release. You can actually get to them very easily now because it's software. But someone here says that smacking the reverb thing is true of the OB6 and the P6.
Oh, right, okay.
But I don't know. That's what he says.
Uh-huh.
Oh, this is funny. Machine Drum has a picture of Elvis that will pop up randomly when booting and say the machine is all right or similar. Those Electron guys.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Mono Machine had a bunny that would pop up at Easter time. That would have been perfect.
Yeah, there's one here that says the Nord Lead 1 and 2 had a hidden physical modelling mode, but you couldn't save the patches. It's like,
there you go, Henrik. Here's the Mono Machine bunny. I'll share this one.
Okay.
Window bunny.
It seems the Roland JD800 has an init patch joke. So when you try to init the init patch, you will get a sarcastic message.
Yeah, so your MC707 has a Pong game.
Alex, you've played a lot with SBCs like Raspberry Pi and ESP32 and so on. Have you come about any Easter eggs there?
No, not really. I never searched for them. Uh, but I'm not aware of anything that was an Easter egg or a joke by itself. But I guess they're, as this basically is running Linux or firmwares from developers, there must be some kind of Easter eggs
Yeah.
anywhere.
Yeah.
Says here, Mutable Instrument Rings has a secret polyphonic organ mode, but I never found that before. So that's cool. Oh, here's the Nord lead. Someone said Nord lead earlier about a physical modeling thing.
Yeah.
Someone here says a hidden physical modeling engine called Pele's mode, which you can get to with some archaic button combos. It sounds like complete nonsense, but it's kind of cool.
Yes, it. Yeah, to activate it, you've got to enter. It's birth year. Okay.
We'll allow some silence today because we're searching for Easter eggs.
Yeah. So this is supposedly a SoundCloud link to some of the Nord things. I can put it in the chat. Have not previewed it, so clicker beware, but this is supposedly the demo. Where the hell's my... Oh, I lost the YouTube thing. Hold on.
Can I? Henrik, is there a way for me to share my screen?
Yeah.
All right, maybe I will. Hang on a sec. Invoke desktop curtain here.
I expect you have found the way.
Just something small.
Oh, here's an interesting one for Yamaha Montage or Mordex owners. Apparently on the ANX engine, if you max out resonance and drive on the ANX engine, and the filter envelope depth and the key tracking, then you will get a self-oscillation. A very weird noise.
Okay.
So this is a very chaotic, unpredictable sound that emerges from that. I have to try it later.
Someone made a funny comment about the JX8P. He says, turns out if you take a few hours to dismantle the synth, clean up the internal pressure strip, carefully refit it, the synth will now have aftertouch. Like that. Sarcastic.
So I don't know how big this can be. This is more whimsy than Easter egg, really. But can you see this pop up here?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So in the ARP 2600, we have lots of cables, right? So you can, and with the cables, you can actually choose from a palette of 8. Decide to keep it simple, but then you can choose the palette down here. So there's some whimsy here, including things like 8 shades of gray, secret herbs and spices for Americans, and hot dog stand, which is
Windows.
the original developer put that in there. So just yellow and red for that
Damn
simple
hot
thing.
dog
So
stand. That's crazy.
anyhow, so small whimsies.
Probes has asked, would undocumented features be regarded as Easter eggs? Well, the people that do it probably claim they're Easter eggs. The rest of us just think it's laziness. But
Yeah.
Sometimes undocumented are unintended. I mean, there's digital native dance, right? The classic one, which was a bug in the system, and I think probably Persing asked them, no, don't. Okay, so fix the bug.
Don't fix that.
Fix the bug, but then allow that behavior, please. Where it just played through the whole ROM.
Yeah. I remember, it's not a synthesizer, but one of the first games I got when I got my Commodore 64 back in '83, it was or '84, I can't remember. It was Hungry Horrors, and if you did a reset on the machine, a warm reset, and you made a sys call an address at a specific place, then it would tell you to press record on the tape recorder and copy itself. That was an Easter egg, I would say.
There's a reaction from Icing the Body Electric on this chat, and you're right, that feature sounds a lot like the X5 FDSP mode. And the reason for that is that Yamaha, when they built in the FDSP engine, all the patches they use, or if you initialize that thing, it uses extreme values for most of the presets. Because they were, I assume they were so proud of the technology that they really wanted to show it off. So if you really want to create patches with FDSP, you have to dial down the values quite significantly to come to useful patches and conclusions.
Henrik mentioned computer stuff. There was a lot of computer games and other things over time that had like a holiday thing. So there was an old game on the Mac called Dark Castle, old black and white Macs. And I guess I never noticed this because I played it a bunch, but never at Christmas time. But at Christmas time, when you go into the room that has a big fireplace, there's a Christmas tree there all of a sudden. So that's kind of funny. You see that too with programs, like if you use VLAN for video playback on your computer, VLAN client or whatever they call it, the icons often change too. So if it's Christmas time, you'll get a little Santa cap on the icon, and then it goes away when Christmas is over.
I think WinZip did the same.
Yeah, a lot of those things do silly stuff like that.
I think some of the worst Easter eggs or most elaborate Easter eggs are in Microsoft products. And this became so bad that they had to release a guideline that their developers must not waste time on developing Easter eggs because the customers were getting annoyed by it.
Especially if they're not good. You don't waste time if they're not good, right? So.
Yeah.
Yeah,
By
because
features or bugs not being fixed, but then
Right.
there's a flight simulator
exactly.
in Excel.
the earlier version of Excel had a 3D maze game in it, and so then Microsoft put a flight
Yeah.
simulator in it. So it was
Apparently
the-
the JJOS for MPC 1000 had a Pong game as well.
Because this was a classic. When I was at university, we started having on the sort of online chat system within the university, we started exchanging jokes, and it was just hundreds of different versions of the "My Dog's Got No Nose" jokes. And when in the days when computer games went from floppy disks to CDs, suddenly they had 650 megabytes to play with, and so it's like, what do we fill this stuff up with? And there was actually a video game that came out, and the extra space was filled up with our "My Dog's Got No Nose" jokes. So we found it was a bit of a bizarre thing.
I don't know if that's made that across the Atlantic.
What, the joke?
Yeah.
Oh, the joke is "My dog's got no nose." So someone says, "How does it smell?" And the person goes, "Terrible."
Yeah.
Oh, the Monty
Yeah,
Python one, yeah.
Yeah,
the
but
killer
then
joke.
you get,
Yeah.
yes, that's the one. Yeah, so but we had literally hundreds of variations on that joke. So
Yeah, that's a great one.
uh,
Apparently,
so, yeah,
vSynth GT also has a setting where you can change the styles of the layout on the screen. But I've never seen that. Color styles. Oh, maybe on the buttons. Maybe they mean on the buttons.
Hmm.
The writing's not very good on some of these. Here's a funny one. So apparently JJOS on MPC 1000 had Pong, but when he started adding more features, there's no room for them, so I had to get rid of Pong. So, that's funny.
It seems the Cork Kronos has a complete breakout game as well.
Yeah, it's a
So,
very popular
Sorry,
one.
the
In
what?
order to
The Chronos?
Cork Kronos, yeah, on the start screen, hold enter and 0 on the startup screen. It's a
Tell you
full
what,
game.
Tell you what, I'm going to try that right now.
Do it.
But I'm going to be
Please
pretty
do it.
surprised. I'm going to be
yeah,
pretty
because
surprised.
I haven't heard that one before. So.
So I'm sorry, what am I supposed to do? Hold enter and 0 on the startup screen?
Enter and 0 on the startup screen, it says
All right,
here.
we'll see.
Fortunately, this may take a while, given the startup takes 2.5 minutes.
It takes a little while. It's loading a whole bunch of data.
Yeah.
And there are two phases. There's the initial phase where Linux is loading. I'm going to be very, very surprised since my team worked on this for a few years and I've never heard of that.
Mm.
But it's always possible.
Yes.
Loading the data now.
While we're waiting, did anyone have any favourite April Fool's jokes they saw synth related?
The Erica Sense one was good, but they actually made a product.
Oh yeah, yes, it was.
Yeah.
Yes, the Percons with keys. Yes.
The video is very funny because it says very clearly no batteries is one of the selling points, and then it shows a guy in a bus playing one.
Yeah, it's the no velocity that suddenly twigged it for me. They're making this up. Yes. No, my favourite I saw was from Luftrum, where he advertised a patch library with 64 do-it-yourself patches. So basically 64 init patches.
That's good.
Almost there.
Oh, here we go. Apparently, the Alesis Fusion, and one of the menus, the guy thinks that's global, has a soft button with no label on it. If you push it, you get the names of the designers and engineers who worked on it.
You know, I think the Wave Station may have had something like that.
I take it no breakout game.
Yeah, no breakout game.
Okay.
Was that an AI summary or was that?
It was on some very far down search results on Google.
I always liked the Emacs Brome, which is clearly a very old reference, but that was an Emu April Fool's joke where they had outfitted. So the Brome refers to a Cadillac, a model of Cadillac. So
Oh, Brougham, yeah. I had a Marquis Brougham from Mercury.
Oh.
Yeah.
And so, so this one has like padded edges and it has a built-in tip jar and cup holder and that sort of thing.
That's funny. Yeah, the Marquis Brougham had like full electric windows and doors. The little shutters went over the lights. Fully padded, tricked out. Like, amazing boat of a car. I had it in high school.
Awesome.
It was $700, and it ran like a trick. It was amazing for $700.
Not new, I assume.
No, but it was well treated and everything worked. It was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. There's apparently a microchord trick. You ramp the feedback of the flanger up enough and have a high volume patch into it. The volume of the audio entering it controls the speed of the flanger.
That sounds like a bug rather than a feature.
Yeah. Apparently somebody liked that one, so. Wow, that's wild. It says on the Matrix 6 and 1000, you can set the pitch bend range as much as 2 octaves in either direction. But if you use M1000X, you can set it to up to 5 octaves. Yikes. Oh, that's
What
interesting.
is the auto biscuit? Okay. The reveal that the auto biscuit had synthesized was a nice find. Let's look it up. Oh,
really?
okay, I see. That is an effects and analog filter machine. But it's discontinued.
Yeah, I've seen them in writings, but never in person. Posted here and there. Someone says that Jupiter 4 has a little trick. Pushing any arpeggiator button in unison in simultaneously will cause the JP4 to do rhythmic chords to the arp clock instead of the single arpeggiated notes. There you go. Don't have access to Jupiter 4, so.
I just found an Easter egg in my model setup, and it's right here.
Well, that's the best kind of Easter egg.
Yes.
Apparently the Casio CZ synths had extra waveforms you could only access from a computer editor. Very much like the some of the tricks on the Ensonics and even the especially the Fismo. If you use the Fismo, there's some parameters you can't really edit without that FOMO thing the guy came out with, which is kind of crazy. So
Yeah.
not really an Easter egg, more of a pain in the ass.
Oh, yeah. That was just because they never finished it properly.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, and not to mention the terrible interfaces. So.
Pretty wild. There were a couple Macintosh related ones, since I'm running out of things to look at for synths. Around the time I worked there, even before that, several versions of like OS 7, and later there was a breakout game in the About menu in OS 7. If you hold down a certain key combination, I totally forgot which it is, but it's easy to find online. And one of the things when I was actually working there was fun. QuickDraw 3D had just come out. So kind of trying to go along the same lines as of NVIDIA doing their stuff. But it was it slightly before NVIDIA had their glide cards out? I can't remember. But QuickDraw 3D, Apple sold this little card you can get, but the operating system would do it even without the card enhancement. And there was an About trick as well with the key combination, and it would actually turn. It would show a picture of the Apple Infinite Loop campus, which was the headquarters at the time. Now it's the big spaceship thing that they have elsewhere. But I was actually on the campus there, and I knew the look of the campus very well. And I said, hey, I'm sitting actually right near where the point of view is of the camera in this shot. And they had a little flagpole, and they had a 3D flag with really good, realistic cloth simulation in the flag. And you could move your mouse and change the direction of the wind of the flag. And as the flag rippled and turned toward you, you could see there's this thing they made called Iguanosaurus. It was an iguana with a power cord for a tail, texture mapped on the flag. So that was pretty fancy for an Easter egg, because it looked really cool, and you could control it. But I'm sure Apple doesn't do shit like that anymore. Like I said, they're too busy looking for bugs and other things that cost money. So
yeah. You'd just be thankful that computer programmers like me, we don't have time for we don't have a social life, so we have time for all this stuff. So
exactly. Yeah, not finding too many other interesting ones, but
yeah.
John, we discussed a bunch already. That was pretty cool. More than I expected people were going to find.
Oh, I found the manual explanation for Bird Run in the Emacs.
Ah.
Looks like this was written by Craig Anderton.
Oh, there we go.
Of much fame.
Did he actually work at email? I didn't know he worked at email.
No, he probably just wrote the manual for it.
Yeah.
So the description of the function of Bird Run is, this function aligns Emacs's internal stabilizers and prevents excessive gyrocosmic relativation. So the instructions for using it are activate master 7 and then carefully observe the display for any signs of destabilization, e.g. gravitational warps, apparent speeding up or slowing down of time, objects and mirrors appearing closer than they really are. If Emacs returns to the module identifier after a few seconds, all is well. Note, occasionally a small emu will get trapped within the Emacs and run across the screen during the stabilization scan process.
There you go.
This does not affect Emacs's normal functions.
That's it. He's
Thank
a great
you, Craig.
writer. I used to love Electronic Musician magazine, and I have a lot of his books, Electronic Projects for Musicians, where you build circuits and stuff, and he's a funny guy. That's probably the most whimsical one I can think of, is the Bird Run, because it really it's a silly little low-res cartoon emu going across the screen.
If we run out of Easter eggs, we can talk about quirky things about synthesizers. Box and stuff like that.
Yeah. I was going to say, Icing the Body Electric has asked in the thing, where does the metaphor of bugs come from with respect to software flaws? It comes from one of the very first computers, the Colossus, and there was a short in it which caused a failure, and when they went to examine it, it's because a moth had got itself trapped across two contacts and had basically been fried there, but it caused a short and caused the system to behave incorrectly, and that's the original bug.
Wow. Did not know that.
According to the people, according to the people that rebuilt it. There's a working one now at the British Museum of Computing, National Computer Museum.
So apparently, that if you look up sequential circuit stuff, the circuit boards always have Eastern religion symbols on it, on the circuit boards and stuff like that.
Yeah, Dave always said that it was some. I don't remember the guy, but it was whoever did the circuit board layouts was a serious Buddhist, I guess, and so he was
I think
putting
it's
all
the
these,
guy that's
all
in
these
this thing.
mandalas out into the world.
Yeah, they said this guy Chet Wood, a programmer as well. So maybe there's a couple guys. Programmer at Sequential. He included ASCII encoded mantras into the operating system. And the idea was, I guess, so every time it would reboot or power cycle, he's basically enlightening himself as it's
It's like a
reading
prayer
through
wheel. It's a
yeah,
version of a prayer
basically,
wheel.
yeah, it's kind of funny though. And it's all behind the scenes. Nobody knows. But they also, yeah, mandalas and different deities on the boards and interesting stuff. Same thing with mutable instruments. A lot of that imagery and mutable instruments stuff. In fact, they even made a Shruti box, digital Shruti box, mutable instruments.
This isn't really. I mean, it's not really so much an Easter egg as the entire point of the thing. But do you guys use permutate? An effect from, geez, the guys who do Microtonic, and I'm blanking now. Awesome effects company. Hang on just a sec.
Yeah, I think it's the one that cuts things up.
Yeah, Sonic Charge.
Yeah.
And permutate is this like it's some sort of emulation of a 12-bit system, and they have these alternative firmware modules for it, and it's so fun. It's just awesome. At its core, they say, is a 12-bit digital delay with a variable sample rate from 0 to 352 kilohertz. And it's noisy and crazy, and they have all of these alternative firmwares for it. And as I say, it's less an Easter egg than the entire point of it. But they do have a Transylvania version of the stuff. So yeah, it's well worth checking out. I love all of their stuff actually.
That's Tonic, the drum machine thingy, right?
Yeah, Microtonic. So
Microtonic.
Sonic Charge is the company.
Yeah, 'cause
Microtonic is so.
Microtonic's the editor, drum machine, and then Teenage Engineering made a Tonic version of the Pucker operator.
Right.
And you can program it with Microtonic via like a modem tone, which is kind of funny. It listens for the tone.
Yeah. So, yeah, again, highly recommended. Anyone on this call should have permutate. I think it's just too fun.
I'll check it out. I only know Microtonic, so I'll look at that one. Yeah, that's all I could find. This one area is pretty good for lots of Easter eggs, but I'm tapped out.
Here's some Microtonic. Let's zoom on it. It's an Easter egg on the Microtonic, an old one.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised.
So is that little pictures of Easter eggs?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Some people take these things literally.
I'm booting it up right now to see.
Yeah, drawing a blank about any other ones. Trying to think. It's like the famous Three Stooges quote. Trying to think, nothing happens. Little Curly.
Oh. I have to share this again. Some of what we talked about.
Oh, sadness. Not today. This version of Microtonic is not displaying Easter eggs, sadly.
Doing the bird run. There you go. Hold on to your hats. Oh, that's right. Here's Emu. That's right. I forgot about that. Or Emacs. That's it. Oh, he's missing him. He's running across the screen. Don't go away. No, he actually runs several times. He moved away when it was running by. Yeah, that's funny. It was Scotts Valley near Santa Cruz, so he talked like a surfer in that, so that's appropriate.
Yeah, I was just saying, we never got these sort of things from Japanese synths.
No. Although somebody swore up and down. I used to have some friends at Guitar Center a long time ago. Before I had any decent gear, I was always drooling over stuff in there, asking questions and stuff. And one of the guys who worked with the service guys swore up and down, and this is a little blue here, but basically because there's a translation error in the Japanese Roland manual, it's told them to fuck or unfuck something instead of screw and unscrew. And I believe it. It happens, but
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I once had a cassette recorder from it was Japanese, and the manual was translated from Japanese, and it actually had the instruction on there: plug the in, do not plug the out.
And the great thing is, if you went and took it to one of the Japanese management types, they'd go, very difficult. Would not be happy about that.
I think the thing is that that sort of thing can happen anywhere.
Oh, sure.
There's the classic Chevy trying to sell the
Nova.
in in Spanish-speaking countries. Nova
Yeah.
doesn't go.
Doesn't go, yeah.
Yeah, so, we had because I live in Wales in the UK, and here all the road signs are in English and Welsh by law, and there was a sign pointing to a docks, and the in English it had basically docks this way, only lorries, delivery lorries only, no public access, and then it had the Welsh version which they'd sent off to a translator, and then basically put the result on the sign. And what the sign actually said in Welsh was, "Sorry, we're away on holiday at the moment. We'll get back to you when we return."
Yeah.
All right, this sounds completely made up, but I'll read it anyway. It says, a Moog subfatty allegedly has a dual phonic mode, and activating it involves entering founder Bob Moog's name using one of the switches in Morse code.
I don't. Yeah.
Nope. I mean, I can see people doing that, super
Yeah,
nerdy
yeah.
guys doing that, but I've never heard of it before. So.
I think we're running out of Easter eggs, Henrik.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I still have a few.
Oh, go on then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's difficult to share them.
It says here, JP08 has a secret
kind of host
chorus
are
effect activated
Yeah.
via MIDI. So,
But we could talk about box and quirks and stuff on synths.
well, I could start off with the Alesis Andromeda, which has a bunch of problems with it, because it was never finished. I saw almost all the bugs in one day. Using for 4 hours or something, 3-4 hours.
Yeah.
Hard locks, knob per function, not doing knob per function, doing more than one thing, which is not the way it's documented.
Mm.
What was the other one I noticed on it? Was really weird. The worst was the hard lock. Basically, it would just freeze up, and you had to power cycle it. There's no way around it. Something
That's not
else
an
is-
Easter egg.
Well,
No.
It's a condition of an unfinished piece of gear, unfortunately. Someone else told me some other stuff. I used to talk to a bunch of people on Harmony Central back in the old days before Gear Space was a thing. At least to me, it was a thing. And he gave me all kinds of inside scoop about the backstory on the Andromeda. Everyone still loves it to this day because 16 voice analog synth polysynth, but it doesn't have a lot of problems.
Nothing else sounds quite like it, does it?
But if the ASICs go, that's it. There's no repairing them.
Hmm.
So once it dies, it dies. There's no fixing it. They don't have those chips anymore.
Dan, do you know of any cork box?
Any which? Cork box?
Bugs.
Bugs?
In
No,
cork
none
sense.
of our stuff has ever had any bugs.
Bugs are
I
good.
was waiting for that.
He's been well trained.
I mean, yeah. Yeah, they're
It's hard to
occasionally-
select.
No, they're just. I mean, it's, we're. The thing is that we're fixing bugs all the time, and part of that is because we're developing things all the time. So,
Yeah,
you
but-
end up having
but-
to go back in the notes to say, oh, is this something that we actually released to anyone, or is this just something that we broke when we were doing something else? And I mean, usually it's the latter, right? You're just
Yeah,
messing
but
around
it's
with
okay
things.
if it's a funny bug, then it's okay to mention. I think.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember any funny bugs. I don't know.
Yeah, boring bugs are
Boring
Not
bugs are
interesting.
boring. No. Yeah, interesting question.
I wonder if there are 90s synths that ship with actual bugs, because in the 90s you couldn't just update the firmware on the internet. I remember that the EX5 I have, they actually released an OS update some years later, and then you had to buy the chips and plug them in. And after that, devices started having USB ports, so you can just plug them into your computer and update the firmware. But before that, that was this moment when you just couldn't update any given hardware.
Well, yeah, I mean, there were a number of synths with drives, at least floppy drives. I mean, from the early 90s. I mean, some of my earliest synths were samplers, and all the samplers had drives, and they would always have software updates. With the Wave Station line, yeah, there were multiple versions of the firmware. Often those would be, an engineering change order. So, if you wouldn't update everyone automatically in the field, if someone had a problem with something, if someone ran, I mean, like, that's one thing is that stuff was simpler mostly. And so it was a little bit more possible to test every conceivable combination of things. But there were still multiple updates, and if someone complained about an issue, then I'm sure that we would give them a new build of the ROM chips, of the EPROMs. We always had happy days. You had a EPROM burner and these EPROM erasers, right? So there's a special light you'd shine on the stuff. And,
It was a great time.
I remember I had a Roland S760 that had real problems playing its stereo samples in phase, and they had kind of multiple. I remember experimenting with that, and there were multiple versions of the firmware, and some of them just wouldn't always be able to trigger the two samples at the same time. And I remember kind of sorting through to find the one that would actually work reliably on that. Of course, that's part of its charm, right? So distorted reality, for instance, if any of you remember that, maybe the first big, I don't know, it's the first one that I think of from Spectrasonics. after Pershing had sort of gone out on his own. I'm sure that there are other people who know much more about the history of that than I do, but it's the first one that I remember, and it was this, amazing sample library, and it was these crazy sounds that they'd, done kind of a postal service thing, mailing sounds back and forth between each other and processing and sending it back, and they actually had a number of sounds which relied on asymmetric loops for stereo samples. So you'd have different length loops, very long each, but different length loops for each of the sides, and so that was a library that was difficult to duplicate on other synths, which insisted on treating their stereo samples as actual stereo samples. So it was a strength of the instrument. But anyway, all that to say, yeah, I remember a lot of firmware updates in the 90s. This is a quiet conversation.
Yeah,
It is.
There's a lot of thinking and searching.
I found another one here. Where the hell is it? Apparently I never tried this because who would have? But in Propellerhead's Reason subtractor, you could actually unscrew the virtual screws.
Oh yeah, you totally could. You absolutely could.
That's
yeah,
funny.
and they would fall out. They would go zip, bonk,
Yeah.
and then they were gone.
That's very funny.
The bug I've just had to deal with recently was, which quite a few of the owners have had, is with the sequential Prophet X, where there was an issue that the power supply voltage would wander, and then if the motherboard wasn't set up to basically cope with the voltage unless it was exact, so you'd end up with a situation where it just wouldn't boot up and would almost finish booting up and then just freeze, and that has affected quite a lot of users. And Sequential were brilliant. That they just they just sent me out a new board and power supply, and I just switched them over, sent back the old ones, and it's worked perfectly ever since. So they're brilliant, and that didn't cost, all I had to pay was just a little bit of postage. So but that has affected quite a few users. So,
I had an Ensoniq DP4, which someone just released a plugin that claims to model it. I don't know. I listened to it a little bit, but on the Ensoniq DP4, I was already at Korg when I got that, and there were a few guys who had previously worked at Ensoniq who were there, and so I got this thing, and they immediately wanted me to open it up because they wanted to look inside. This is a typical thing they did, and so we popped off the hood, and this is when I learned about this, and the effects chips. There were 4 effects chips in there, 4 physical effects chips. So one effect per chip, and the chips were labeled. 2 of them were labeled like 5.3, and 2 of them were labeled 4.7, and there were little trim pots for the 2 pairs of chips. So they were getting such a low yield on their chips that they sorted them for the voltage that they would accept, and then had little trim pots for the voltage going to the chips.
Wow. DP4 is great. I have a DP4 and a DP4 Plus. They're really cool.
yeah, it's a classic.
Yeah, have you listened to this new plugin?
I have not. I keep hearing about it. I should do that because I like having virtual stuff as well, because I know, as guys like Ken Spong and other people have talked about, as they are running out of chips to repair CS80s and a bunch of other stuff with, eventually there will be no repairs for certain synths, and you have to rely on a good quality virtual one.
Yeah, but for anyone who doesn't own a DP4, they're just too expensive to buy now anyway.
Yeah.
They weren't cheap to begin with.
No.
They're very good quality. I mean, and Sonic was just amazing anyway. I have the ASR Pro X, the red version of the ASR, and it has essentially like an equivalent of a DP2 inside of it for effects, so the effects are very good. Very nice stuff. What What else? Can't find anything else. One guy's trying to be cheeky here. There wouldn't be Easter eggs if I revealed them all. Ha ha ha. Yeah.
Oh,
Apparently it's... I can't imagine this is undocumented. Someone says on the Reface YC, the modulation wheel allows you to switch the rotary speed up and down. But why wouldn't that be documented? That's a basic feature of the organs.
yeah. Ooh. Do you want to put the link in the chat for that? The deep fall.
There. I'll put the link in the chat, yeah. I think it was the DSP, the plugin that Dan was talking about. Oh, that's long. Can that be right?
There's someone who claims that they had the Reface EP stuck on the piano that they don't want anymore. They want to try the other stuff. They can't get out of it.
Ah. When Easter eggs work too well.
That's a weird bug in StreamYard. Each time I share a screen, I return to a different view. It returns to something like this, and no, not that. Like this, and that's wrong.
Being on some sort of game show.
Yeah. So is that the show for today? Don't we have anything else?
Can't find any more.
There is one thing I know about that FDSP engine in the Yamaha EX5 that one of the viewers talked about earlier, and there is an algorithm that's called self-modulation, and they describe it as you can place 4 oscillators in there, and every oscillator of the 4 oscillators can modulate itself. But I think it really works as a stack of operators, so the description in the manual seems to be wrong, because I tried to put noise on one of the oscillators and the saw wave on one of the others, and then as a result you get this fuzzy sounding saw wave, which sounds like it's been treated with sandpaper, which is typical for noise FM. So if anyone has got that old keyboard, you can try that. You can create some unexpected sounds with that, especially when you use your own samples for that FM engine. Quite interesting.
Yeah, I have an EX5 I got to play with some more. Unfortunately, when I got burgled, my big EX5 got stolen along with some other stuff. But I still have the EX5 rack. So I need to dive into that some more and play with it. It is a fun synth. I like it. Yeah, can't find any more goodies. I looked at probably 10, 11 different websites already. A lot of them are repeating themselves.
I've got another one to show you guys if you want. So let's see. Can I make this here?
I guess the ultimate Easter eggs are cheat codes if you're a gamer. Those are kind of fun.
but they don't make them like that anymore. Cheat codes
That's why
were
PC
fun,
games are
but
always great, because you can unlock everything. You could debug stuff, you could turn off rendering, you could turn off the clipping, you can walk through all the walls, you can do all this stuff you couldn't do on a console game.
yeah, that's right.
As well as mod the shit out of it, where you can make it now a Star Trek game when it was a Doom game, or whatever. It's crazy, you know.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it looks like I can just share this directly. Let's see if that works. Does that work? Can't see anything. Let me stop sharing.
I have to add it here. So just share it again.
Okay. Window, this guy.
Yep, and then I add it.
All right. So we can see this now. This is permutate. This is this lovely and very strange effect. So I click up here. Oh, oops. All right. Let's see. What I really want is to... Oh, goodness. All right. So you can get the...
Yeah.
All right. And then you say something like help, and it says you have to log on. So if you say, rename, it'll tell you have to log on first. Okay. And then log on. Please log off. Okay, log on. Enter username, and I'm just going to enter random stuff here for a little bit. Okay, and then we'll say log on again, and we can try, admin and password.
Had you tried
And then
other commands than those?
Yeah,
sudo
but hang on,
reboot
So Fred, and then it says, just do exactly what you were being told. So then we say log on, enter username. Okay, I'll enter username. Enter password. And then Prawn Operating Systems, Shrimperative Computing Limited.
That's great.
So, anyway, fun stuff.
It's like some of the old Sierra games where they had a lot of funny stuff in the commands for the characters when you do the stuff. And people very, very odd, funny sense of humor, weird kind of responses, and like that kind of smart ass thing, or like criticizing you while you're doing something.
Right.
It's very funny.
Yeah, here in the UK, we had a game came out for primary school children on computers in the 80s called Pod, and it had this sort of little figure guy in the middle of the screen who was basically a sort of round body with sort of little arms and legs sticking out, and it had a little prompt underneath that said pod can, and you could type, and so it was to teach children that they could put pod can run, and he'd run, and pod can jump, and he'd jump. Of course, they'd put in loads of extras as well, so you could put pod can explode, and he would just blow up and it then explode into small pieces which would bounce around the screen. I thought, this is going to traumatize any small child that finds this.
Yeah. I like they did that, though. That's fun.
Yeah.
Some creativity.
Mm.
There was speaking of games, there was a funny thing in Space Quest 4, one of my favorite of the Space Quest series by Sierra. And it's one of those click and go, like the Indiana Jones games and stuff. And so you go to this little ruined vehicle that looks like a land speeder in Star Wars. And he goes, oh, you just picked an unstable ordnance. Be careful with this. And as you're walking around and you go down the little sewer grate, the little ladder, and all of a sudden you explode. And at the thing it says, we told you it was an unstable ordnance. It's funny. Love stuff like that.
I wish I'd. Yeah, sorry, icing the body electric. Sorry, I'd forgotten to try that one. Sorry, don't.
Yeah, it's great when these guys have a sense of humor, and
Yeah.
it's more than just a game or just a little simulation or something. And you'll remember that stuff for decades because it just sticks with you. It's just very clever.
Yeah. Mm.
I was trying to think I had any iPod or iPad or iPhone Easter eggs. I can't think of any. Apple used to do a lot with the operating systems on the computers, but I don't see them too much on devices.
Any of you guys XKCD fans?
Oh yeah, that's great.
Did you see their recent modal upgrade?
No.
So it is Creation. It's not the current one, but it is number 3227. So how do I post that in here? So I'm posted in the comments. This comment has failed to post. I can't just post a link, apparently.
Post it private here.
You
Then
can't.
I post it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you should check that out for Easter eggs. XKCD is a brilliant webcomic, which, as he says, is a webcomic of romance, sarcasm, math, and language, which may not be suitable for English majors, but generally is, I think.
That's a good one. Yeah, look, these guys are funny. Is it just one guy?
It's just one guy.
Yeah.
It's in the chat too.
There are a couple sites like this one. Yeah, when I worked at Apple, there were a bunch of guys into some of these wacky sites, and I forgot most of them already. But this one I do remember.
So you can try screensaver mode, for instance, for the website, or modem mode, which slows everything down terribly and occasionally bleeps like a modem.
Good stuff. Can't think of any other cool things. So any cool Easter eggs in the wave state you can think of?
Not that I built in or know of.
Okay. I'll have to monkey around with it and see if I can find something.
Yeah, you were saying you'd just gotten one, so you're enjoying it?
Yeah, it's not the updated one. It's the original original Pi one. Because it was really cheap. I found it somewhere. I was like, oh, I have to get it now because it's in perfect condition. The deal is amazing, and yeah, it's excellent. Very, very. You get a synth with, I like to program stuff when I can or tweak presets and stuff like that. But sometimes you just go through the presets and you go, oh, okay, a lot of the same old shit. Like, ooh, this is really nice. And I was doing that a lot on the wave state. So
cool.
And it's so well. Unfortunately, I know that the cost had to be kept down. I wish I had Aftertouch because some of those things are just crying for Aftertouch control from the board, so I had to hook something else up to it. But so much variability from the controls you have.
Cool.
Per patch, so that whoever programmed this and that, again, thought about this stuff. It's not just, oh, the modulation only does vibrato or the modulation only does this. It's like, whoa, that went way off the rails in a nice way.
Mm-hmm.
So very, very clever.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah. I'm a sucker for the whole. I love the fact that they have Ski Jam 2.0. That's great. This is
Oh yeah.
So
that was I did that one based on Peter Schwartz's original one.
Yeah.
And he was, yeah. It demonstrates the whole concept
For
you
sure.
know, so you start with the main thing and then mess up the lanes.
And this is just downright beautiful orchestrally like patches. I'm very happy about those because I love that kind of sound.
Mm-hmm.
Layered orchestral type sounds and other things coming and going as you morph around with the stick, and it was wonderful.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very glad.
Yeah, Dan, I have to confess, I did actually put in a complaint to the Korg UK guys about the SE version
Okay.
of the wave state, because when you're trying to use like the mod wheel and pitch bend, I found that where the screw heads are, which are pronounced on the left hand end, gets in your over hand, or it's right where my hand wants to be.
Oh.
So it's bit of a bit, but apart from awesome machine. Apart from that, but that was,
Looking at it now, it's interesting.
You need the pad mod for the screws. A little pad over it.
Yeah, exactly. Interesting. Yeah, haven't come across that, but everyone holds their hand differently. So
yeah, I know. It's just where I put my hand.
interesting.
But yeah, so much. It's obviously so much nicer. Apart from that, having the full size keyboard. So, Henrik, is there anything else you wanted to cover?
He's going to sing in Danish because there's a lull, and that's a fun.
so
Every
is
time there's a lull, he's going to sing in Danish a little bit. So.
Yeah. I usually do that. It's been some time.
I was going to ask what shows are people doing this year? Cause I was I'm at Super Booth this year.
I was supposed to do Super Booth, but I'm not completely where I need to be healthy, health-like. It seems I lost a lot of blood during my infections and operations, and in that period I stopped a lot of things that I usually did, contacts I had, playing music and a lot of stuff, and now I'm trying to get into the habits again, and it's very difficult. So one of the things besides money that I've cancelled is Super Booth. It will be next year. Then I think everything is in place.
Did you think when you went to Super Booth, did you think the whole package of the journey and the accommodations and stuff, was it reasonable or was it pretty expensive?
It is expensive. You have to both think of the travel.
Yeah, I've never been to Germany, so I don't know how expensive it is there. So.
But here from Denmark to Berlin, it's not far, but it's the same price as the cost of the ticket, and then you have to stay down there, and it's 3 times the price of the ticket or something like that.
Yeah.
You also have to eat something, and go out with people and eat at the restaurants.
Drinks get expensive.
That too.
Yeah, although the key at Super Booth, by the way, is always take your cups back, because they charge you a fee for the cup when you get drinks at the actual event. So take your cups back, otherwise it gets very expensive.
Wow.
Yeah, but that's to keep you from just throwing it away.
Yeah.
We had a brilliant result at Super Booth last year, because the place we were due to stay, there was a load of us staying at an Airbnb, and the boiler had broken down the night before we were due to arrive. So the guy who rented it said, "Well, I have 2 other flats, you can have those instead," and he only charged us €125 for the week. So
nice.
each. So it was
Great.
so it was a really cheap week. So
That's cool.
Yeah, I saw your house down there a few years ago.
yeah. So
It's nice.
yeah, that's where we called you from during your live stream last year.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so
24 and 24.
yes, yeah. So
They already did NAMM this year.
Oh yeah.
Wish they would do
last
Super.
year. Yeah.
I wish they would do Synthplex this year. I don't know if they might do it next year. It might be canceled permanently, but I enjoyed Synthplex a lot. So in Burbank.
I probably said too much about Trump to be able to get over there.
Oh, plenty of us are saying stuff about him when we live here, so don't worry
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah, I actually went to a new synth show 2 weeks ago, run by Pro Synth Network, Rob Puricelli's group.
Oh, yeah.
And it was
Synth Southwest?
Synth Southwest in the UK,
Yeah.
and that was brilliant. I mean, it's just a tiny little event by comparison, but just so much fun. And
It's about the same size as Synth East, right?
yeah,
The
yeah,
Robbins
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, and yeah, no, it was a good time. Yeah, when you walk in there, you think this is not going to last me the whole day, but it did. It went really well, so it was fun. Actually, I finally got my hands on a Leviathan and to play, so that was awesome.
Yeah. Very nice. The best thing about those events are, of course, are the people. So
Oh yeah,
you may get bored with what's there and then just talk to everybody. So
What
Well,
about
best-
you, Alex? Are you going to Super Booth?
I will go to Super Booth, and usually I went there on Thursday, and only on Thursday. But this year, so many people have asked if they could meet me in person, so I'm planning for perhaps 1 or 2 days to perhaps on Friday and Saturday this time, which, as you already said, will increase the costs of the whole operation, because
Yeah.
then you have to get accommodation, and you have to get tickets, and you have to get food, and yeah, let's see how it works out.
yeah. Well, I'll be there all 3 days. If you see me, say hi.
Oh yeah. I will get around.
Yeah, so, yeah. A couple of years ago, somebody stopped me at the end of the first day and said, "What was the coolest thing you've seen today?" And I went, "I don't know. I haven't seen anything yet. Everyone just wants to chat."
yeah,
It is.
It's one big party.
It is. Yeah. Just.
What
I have
about
this
you?
theory that people have got more chatty since COVID, but
I remember the first time I went there, and I saw all these synthesizers and cool new products, and I then the last booth I visited was Cork's one indeed, and I played the OP6 for the first time, and I really liked the sound of that thing. It was the best synthesizer of the show for me.
Cool.
yeah. It's nice.
Yeah, anyone can check
Yeah.
out the demo for free too, the software.
Yeah.
So. I have another Easter egg if anyone wants to see it.
ooh,
Oh.
So this is again, and so I kind of delving into Sonic Charge here. So let's see, and I will share screen again, and Henrik, you can do this. All right, so we're here, and this is the detailed pattern editor for this drum machine. So, but if we go in here and we clear the pattern, and then we do this. You see what's happening? Any of you ever played Othello?
Oh yeah, that's funny. I thought it was a game of life for a second. I wasn't sure what was going
oh,
on.
good.
Apparently, you have to beat the computer, and then something else happens. I haven't done that yet. But.
Okay. Yeah, don't. Yeah, don't click one in from the corners. It's general.
Anyhow, so
That's
yeah, another
cool.
one there.
Gotta be a first. I've never seen Othello or anything like that.
Makes perfect sense for a grid.
Yeah. Even crazier if they did a version of Go, which is even more complex. They actually rank Go as like they do karate, right? If you know, first dan, second dan, third dan for the masters.
Oh, sure. Well, like chess.
Yeah. Pretty wild.
Are you going anywhere, Dan?
Any shows? No plans right now. Typically, I just go to NAMM. once or twice I went to Music Messe long ago. But I've never been to Subaru. It'd be nice to go, but no plans this time.
Music Mess looked like it was fun. It would have been fun to go to that.
Very big.
I love the video someone edited of Nick Bat lost at Music Messa, just wandering the hallways in a loop. Because it was so big and twisted. He kept moving around. It was very funny.
Yeah, which Synthfest are you talking about? I sing the Body Electric. Yeah, someone invited me to Synthfest France, which I can't go to, but I will be going to Synthfest UK later in the year.
Yeah, you have a lot of synth parties in UK.
Yeah, yes, we do. Yeah, because so we've got Synthfest took a break last year, but it's back this year. Machina Bistronica, which is like the closest thing we've got to Super Booth, unfortunately is having to take a break this year for practical reasons, but we'll be back next year, and that's now a 2-day event.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, the one in Sheffield. Yeah, I'll be there at Sheffield in October.
Ristronica, that's when all the Moyles showed up too, right? So.
The what? Sorry?
With the Moyles, the little knives, the circumcision. It's called a brist. So.
Oh, no, it's 'cause it's in Bristol.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Dan and I am talking about doing a show with some Korg synthesizers where we talk and play with the gear. Do any of you have Korg synthesizers so you can join, and then Dan can help us with them?
Yeah, a bunch of Korg stuff.
Yeah, quite a few.
Yeah.
Did you work on the M3 at all?
What?
Did you work on the M3, Dan?
No, except that the M3 was designed to be compatible with the Kronos in certain ways. So,
Okay.
you know,
Yeah, it's like a baby Oasis kind of. So it's I really like the M3. It's great.
Yeah, because I've got the Karma, the 08, the Karma, the Kronos, X50,
Yeah, Karma.
M03RW,
Oh, all right.
X5DR. Yes, SP300. Yeah, I've got quite a few Korgs.
The 01W is my favorite Rompler of all time. I love the 01W.
Yeah, it does. There's something special about it, isn't there? So
It's interesting.
It's because if you watched the Senior Synth stream where we talked about the Leviathan, there was a lot of demos and it really worked well. So I would like to do the same with some Korg gear, and Dan is the specialist, so
Sure.
so
Yeah.
so he can guide us and tell the secrets.
I can turn this guy on.
Yeah.
yeah. Oh yes, yeah, and I've got several software versions as well. Yeah, so I've got I've got the Wave Station, the Op6.
I actually have all the vocals too. I like the vocals a lot.
You said you like the vocals a lot.
Yeah, the whole collection.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have
Okay.
FM2, and I don't have the vocal sample 2, whatever it's called. I just have the originals of everything. But vocal drum is amazing. Vocal, the Buchla style one is really cool. The yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah. I just see the jokes when
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Where they
Sorry.
fit exactly. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But you know, like the Volca Volca Kick is great. It's an MS-20 filter. That's gnarly, right?
Mm.
So you don't have to use that as a kick drum.
Yeah,
And,
and I must say they are small, so there can be a few on the table. So,
Yeah, I put them all on this table here, and
yeah,
the problem is you have to have all the crap to hook them all together, all the sync cables, and one of those little power snakes, because you don't want to put batteries in all of them, and you don't want to put individual adapters in all of them. So I found these little things you can buy for guitar pedals. This little power snake thing, and you just get a decent power adapter that is the right parameters. It just has a decent amount of amperes, and you can power most of your crap with one plug. So
yeah.
Awesome.
yeah,
I do have one of those.
there's
Down
some
there.
have like 6 plugs on them, and some have like I think 11 or something. There's one I bought can power up to 11 guitar things on one thing. And if you have the wrong, if you can't change the polarity on your thing, you can buy those little polarity adapters that turn the barrel connector to a different polarity. So
Yeah.
it's good stuff.
Yeah, they are mostly 9 volts.
Yeah.
And that's a problem. I usually work with. I can't. Let's see. I used this a few days ago, but it's from Erica Synth, and they use 12 volts, so that's a little bit more.
That's like the Electron stuff. I think is mostly 12 volts, if I remember correctly. And I actually was able to use a power bank and one of those power bank up converters to run 2 Electron pieces off of one battery. It's very cool.
Yeah. Else, I did use this one before for a noise show, and that was 9 volt. So I thought I could use
Which one was that you held up? What was that?
the Collider reverb,
Oh,
delay
okay.
reverb.
Yeah.
Very good pedal
Nice.
from Source. No, what is
Yeah, I had the Ventress. I like the Ventress
Source
a lot.
Audio. Yeah. Yeah, they do good gear, and it can be controlled by the computer.
Yeah, they have USB and MIDI on them,
Yeah.
which is cool. Good stuff.
Yeah. So, what are your plans this year? Now we have talk shows, but what other plans do you have, Dan?
You mean aside from shows? Sorry, what's the one of my
Yeah,
plans?
aside from shows.
Just
Are you-
things to do.
Yeah, all releases.
Go work on some Easter eggs.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we're always working on new stuff, but I can't actually talk about it if it
Yeah, of
hasn't been
course.
Yeah, of
released, of
course.
course. So, one plan is to play more guitar. So,
Yeah.
playing guitar, working up calences and things. Just got this.
So you're working on a guitar.
No, I just got this guy, so that's fun.
Hmm?
Do you ever use
one
your guitar
beautiful
skills in a
guitar.
hexaphonic pickup system?
No, I think if I wanted to play keyboards, I'd play keyboards.
It's just
Yeah.
different because you get a different feel and stuff. It's cool. I'm not
Yeah,
a good
but-
guitar player, so I have to kind of noodle around with it. But
Yeah, when you say my guitar skills, that's that would be, you'd have to be speaking very loosely to talk about my skills.
you got to be better than I am. So
But yeah, the only thing that's interested me about guitar synths is it's a GR300, whatever they used on the Keep Feeling Fascination Human League.
oh,
There's a lot of guitar synth on there, and it produces a really strange waveform. It's some sort of processed version of the
I didn't know they had a
audio.
guitar set on that one. Interesting. Look that one
Yeah,
up.
the lead is a guitar synth,
Oh,
and you can hear kind of the weird tracking problem.
it sounds weird. Yeah, I was wondering what
Yeah.
that was. I didn't know that was a guitar. That's hilarious. That's a
Yeah.
guitar synth.
Yeah. Someone is actually selling one locally, but I'm resisting. It's like $2,500, and
Yeah.
doesn't really feel like it.
I have a GR1 and a few other ones, but I'm not super into it. I'm more just tinker.
Mm-hmm.
I do the little show called Six Oscillators with my friend Eddie. He's a big guitar
Oh, cool.
player, and he loves the in quotes, syntar, where basically it's synth guitar stuff. And he was, so the GK3 pickup from the Roland and hexaphonic stuff, and it tracks very well. I had a really nice iGuitar by Brian Moore, really, really high quality guitar. Just as a guitar, it was great, but also had the built-in hexaphonic stuff with the 13-pin connector. And unfortunately, I also got stolen recently, so I like that kind of stuff. Or the Casio PG380 with the built-in brain. That's the VZ brain. So you have MIDI, guitar, and synth all at the same time. 3 different
Looking
outputs.
at a picture of that. Yeah.
It tracks really well. It's like an Ibanez body and some other parts inside of it. But really good stuff.
Floyd Rose.
Yep.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. 1988, I think, is the PG380, something like that. 87, 88.
Sounds right.
And they're really good. They're way different than the DG10 or DG20, that little plasticky one that looks all sci-fi that you see on like silly movies sometimes and stuff, where somebody's playing like this cool looking futuristic guitar and it's just a crappy Casio plastic synth guitar.
There's a PG380 $700 price drop on Reverb right now. Only $1,100.
Exactly. Unfortunately, I got mine much cheaper than that, but now it's harder to find them much less than what you
They
just
go up to
quoted
25.
there,
So
yeah, that's just and different colors and whatever. It's kind of crazy. So,
funny.
yeah, and then I have a friend who owns a Alan Holdsworth. You know him at all?
Mm-hmm.
Famous guitar. He like built tons of work off of the Syntax,
Mm-hmm.
and which is that weird thing. It's got keys, and that neck at a weird angle. It's kind of up at a higher angle like that, and a proper little strum area. And I have a friend that has one of those. He's refurbished, and those are really cool too, but very strange. They just do MIDI out. There's no. It's before the hexaphonic stuff was around.
But let's continue from where we were. Alex, do you have any plans for this year?
Apart from the usual stuff like holidays, I could do a shameless plug here and show one of the things I'm going to show tomorrow. I've turned this home control smart knob into a sequencer, and then you can use that to play chords, and it has I have some music theory built into this. So if you know chords, for example, different chords belong to different keys, and different keys have the same chords. And in music, when you switch from one key to another, you have cause strong emotions, so to speak. And you can just program that into some lines of code, and that's what I did here. It's a fun little gadget, and let's see how my audience reacts to that.
Interesting. What is your favorite, ESP or Raspberry Pi?
I think this one is an ESP. It's both have their advantages. The ESP is more embedded because, if I don't know the right words, but the Raspberry Pi is a computer that runs Linux, and this one is just the bare processor. Both have their pros and cons.
Yeah, so you're closer to the CPU when you program an ESP than you are with
Yes, that's
Raspberry
right.
Pi. Yeah, yeah.
There is this thing called Circle for the Raspberry Pi. You can use that to skip the operating system and just use the hardware with some libraries that you can install. But it's not really the same. You still need the SD card. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you checked M5 Stack? They do a lot of ESP, and it's very, very easy to program. Both, both. What do you call it? When you're close to the CPU and via Flow or something like that, a Flow user interface.
I didn't, but I will do after the show.
Yeah, you should check them. They have so much and so many sensors. So, Tim, your plans for this year?
Yeah, my plans haven't changed much since the last one. Cause I just remember when I came on last time, I said I'd been quite ill, and I think it was COVID, and it's left me really tired. So I haven't actually managed to push on much since then. But yeah, I've got some 8 or 9 synth patch libraries on the go at the moment, trying to get at least 3 of them out this year. So yeah, quite a lot going on for doing stuff for Pigment 7, Omnisphere 3, Unify 2. The multi-poly, and probably more. So yeah, lots going on.
Nice. And Andy?
Sorry, I was reading stuff. What was the question?
What are your plans for this year?
This year, just staying afloat, making enough money to do this and that. Can't buy much gear lately. I'm in between jobs doing rideshare and a bunch of other random stuff to make money until I find another post. Looking at various things. Might get a teaching job somewhere if things work out. Might get another lame IT job just to pay the bills, since that's my highest level I've had, is doing, data center, server administrator stuff, cloud computing junk. But just got bored doing IT stuff for 30 years. It wasn't really my degree. It wasn't really what I wanted to do. I did it to make money.
Yeah.
And now I'm tired of it. But hey, I was able to buy all my stuff and go on all these trips and stuff. So I'm not complaining about that in general. But there's no joy in the jobs. It's just a job, just a grind. So having lots of fun with some downtime, because I drive a lot lately for rideshare and other stuff. I do have a lot of little off moments for stuff, but not as much as I did before. It seems to do like more streams and more tutorials and other stuff I'd like to do on YouTube. Just run out of time. But we'll see. I have to balance stuff a little bit better once I've got bills sorted out, and then I can be a little less stressed out. But I'm still having fun, so it's okay. Could always be worse. Although gas prices have killed me lately because of all the conflict going on. It's only gone up about $1.20 or something like that per gallon, but that adds up really quickly when you're driving every damn day.
That reminds me, John Lemcool posted
the rip-off thing.
He was robbed at a gas station,
right.
And the police officers were very, very nice and asked him, do you know who robbed you? Yeah, pump number 6.
Sad but true.
Yeah.
I see it every day.
Yeah. So, one last question before we end for tonight. Dan, I've been wondering a little bit about your Raspberry Pis inside your wave state, etc. Are you using Raspberry Pi 4, or are you using the latest, or?
Current instruments are all CM4, and that would include the WaveState Mark II, ModWave Mark II, the Multi-Poly, and the Op6 Mark II, and the modules also. And And yeah, those are all CM4. We started with the CM3, so that was the WaveState original and the ModWave original.
Yeah.
So nothing using the CM5 yet.
The question is also, some people are talking about SPCs are dying because of the high RAM prices and stuff like that, and maybe it doesn't continue after this crisis.
I see that as highly unlikely.
Okay.
You know, Raspberry Pi is right now. They're, it's the group is a non-profit, right? And so they actually try to keep, their mission is to keep the prices as low as possible. And they've been reluctantly raising some prices, especially of things with more RAM in them. But I mean, I think that single board computers are here to stay, and at least for now, they're amazing little tools that do all sorts of things. Of course, Raspberry Pi sells ones without very much RAM in them also. If you go down to the Pi Zero and that sort of thing. And I think that we will... I don't think that the current RAM shortage is really a sustainable thing. It just takes a while to get foundries online and making certain things. And right now, data centers are very profitable, and it seems very likely, right, that will not continue to be the case for one reason or another. So once that goes away, things could go back to normal, or it doesn't go away, but there's still demand for RAM in other industries, and so RAM production increases. One way or the other, the market will get there.
Yeah. Okay. Good to hear. So we ran out of Easter eggs and
Now it's time.
Yeah, and you also have to leave now.
Yeah, I have to take off, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Actually, it's a fortunate thing. It's a baby shower, but it's all good.
Nice.
Yeah.
So let's end the show for tonight and say thank you to everybody who's been here. Tim just fell off. We'll catch up with him.
Thanks,
later.
everybody. Good times.
Yeah. So I will say thank you to the chatters. It has been nice serving you. And thank you to the guests. And hope to see you again next time. The next show is not planned yet, but it will come. So let's say good night.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oops, that was the wrong one. This one.